Welcome to Shanti Peace Yoga. If you've been following the channel for a while, you will know I've been away for a few months completing my yoga teacher training course, and this is now our first class back on the mat. If you've been away from your mat for a while, or are just looking for an all-over yoga stretch, I really think you'll enjoy this class today. Let's begin in a comfortable seated position, and you can be in a cross-legged position like me, or you can rest on your knees. From here, take your right hand to your heart space and left hand to your belly, taking a moment to connect to your practice and your time on the mat, feeling your breath travel through you. And you can start to soften your eyes or close your eyes. Let's now take a deep inhale through the nose and a deep exhale out the mouth. We'll begin our practice with a seated twist, so stay as you are, and I will turn away from you so it's easier to follow. Sitting nice and tall, take your right hand behind you. Inhale as you lift your left arm skyward, and exhale as you twist over to the right, left hand to right knee. Keep lifting through the crown of your head and ensure both sit bones are grounded. Let's take one more deep inhale and return to center on the exhale. Moving on to the other side, this time the left hand comes behind you. Inhale as you raise your right arm skyward, and exhale as you twist over to the left, right hand to left knee. Ensure you're keeping length in your spine as you hold this twist. We'll take one more inhale and return to center on the exhale. We'll make our way now onto our hands and knees in a tabletop position, setting up so your hands are under your shoulders and knees are under your hips. We'll start to warm up our spine with 5 rounds of cat-cow. Inhale as you drop your belly, curl tailbone up, gaze lifts, and now exhale, slowly round the spine, broaden across the shoulders, drop the head down. Again, inhale, drop the belly, curl tailbone up, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the spine, broaden the shoulders, drop the head down. 3 more like this in your own time. Let's all find a neutral tabletop position. From here, we'll take a little breathing flow. Inhale in tabletop, and as you exhale, sit back onto your heels in child's pose. Inhale, moving back to tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop position. Exhale, child's pose. Moving slowly with your breath, taking your time as you move through this. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, child's pose. Few more times. Inhale, tabletop position. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tabletop position. And exhale, child's pose. One more time. Inhale back to tabletop. And exhale, child's pose. And I invite you to hold this child's pose, allowing yourself to completely melt down, allowing the spine to round. The arms can stay overhead or down by your sides. Forehead rests on the ground, and keep the breath long and smooth as we hold here. Take your hands overhead if they weren't already. Take one more inhale, and now on the exhale, transition into downward dog, pressing into the hands, extending the legs, and lifting the tailbone skyward. Don't worry about your heels touching the mat. Bend your knees as much as you need to focus instead on pressing your chest towards your thighs. Shoulders slide down your back and head is heavy. This is a very active and strong pose, and if you've been away from yoga for a while, you might feel a little surprised here. Feel free to lift and lower the heels, pedaling out the feet if your hamstrings are particularly tight. We're holding for another 10 breaths, so return to child's pose at any time if needed. Let's now inhale and look forward between the hands, and exhale, step the feet up to the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold Uttanasana. You can take hold of the elbows here and feel free to rock side to side, keeping your head nice and heavy between the arms and allowing the knees to bend generously. Let's return to center if you were rocking side to side. Release the hands down and inhale as you place the hands on your shins, halfway lift, and exhale, fold and release the hands down. Inhale, bend the knees as you rise up to standing, arms reach overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Release the hands down by your sides now, palms shine forward, finding Tadasana, mountain pose. Feet are hip-width apart, legs are active with the thighs engaged and lifted. Shoulders slide down the back, and crown of the head is lifting skyward as if you can feel yourself growing taller. Face is soft and eyes are steady, looking straight ahead, feeling your strength and power in this pose. We'll move into 3 slow rounds of Surya Namaskar, sun salutations, and think of this as a moving meditation, each breath tied to a different movement. Let's begin with an inhale, raising the arms up overhead, and exhale, deep bend in the knees as you fold forward, hands come down. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the floor, step the feet back into a high plank pose. Inhale as you lower to the mat, lift the chest into cobra pose. Exhale, tuck the toes under, pressing back into downward dog. Inhale, look forward to the hands. Exhale, step the feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale as you rise to stand, arms reach overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll complete 2 more rounds like this. Release the hands back to your sides, shine the palms forward in mountain pose. Taking a moment to find that smooth, steady breath. Let's begin again with an inhale, arms rise overhead. Exhale, deep bend in the knees as you fold forward. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the floor, step back to plank pose. Inhale to lower, lifting the chest into cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes under, pressing back to downward dog. Inhale as you look and step to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale as you rise to stand, arms reach overhead, palms touch. And exhale, hands to heart center. Release the hands back down by your sides into Tadasana, taking a moment to feel the energy move through you and find your breath again. We'll take 1 more round. Let's begin with an inhale, raising the arms up overhead. And exhale, deep bend in the knees, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the floor, step back to plank pose. Inhale to lower, and then lifting the chest into cobra pose. Exhale, tuck the toes under, pressing back to downward dog. Inhale as you look and step to the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale as you rise to stand, arms reach up overhead, palms touch. And exhale, hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. And let's release our hands down by our sides in Tadasana. We're going to move into some balancing poses now. Shift your weight into your left foot and take hold of your right knee, drawing it into your chest. Keep your gaze steady, looking straight ahead, and feel free to roll your right ankle here. If your hip flexors are quite tight, this can be a little bit challenging. Now this pose might be enough for you, so you can stay here, balancing like this, or join me in Vrikshasana, tree pose. And I'm going to turn to face you to show you the different levels. So your right foot can be resting on the left ankle. It can be resting on the left shin or the left inner thigh. So choose your level based on your abilities. Wherever you are, I want you to keep that left leg really activated, pushing into the right foot, really squeezing the foot and the leg together. And this is going to make it a lot easier for you to balance, and it will allow you to open the right hip even more. Make sure the hips are still square to the front, and try to keep your face soft as you concentrate. Stay here if this is enough for you, or join me in Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3, by releasing the foot from the leg and sending it behind you. Try not to touch the ground as you tilt your upper body parallel to the ground. The right foot is flexed and active, pushing through the foot as if there was a wall behind you. Keep your gaze steady, back of the neck long, hips are square to the ground. Inhale and exhale. Carefully and gently release everything back, shaking it out no matter where you are. And we'll repeat this on the other side. So shifting your weight into your right foot, taking hold of the left knee and drawing it into your chest. Keep your spine long and lifted as you pull your knee in. Feel free to roll your ankle out on the left foot. Like before, you can stay here or join me in tree pose, taking whatever level suits you. Remember, we want to squeeze the foot and the leg together, actively engaging that leg, while also trying to keep a soft, relaxed face and steady gaze as you balance here. You can continue to stay in tree pose or join me in Warrior 3 as we did before, releasing the foot from the leg. Try not to touch the ground. Send it behind you while tilting your upper body parallel to the floor. Remember to keep that left foot flexed and active, pressing into that imaginary wall. Hips are square to the ground. Take one more inhale and exhale, release, and come back to standing. Feel free to shake everything out, and we'll find Tadasana once more, standing strong, palms shine forward, spine is long, crown of the head is lifted. Let's inhale and raise the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the floor. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the ground. And now step the feet back, bending the knees and lowering down to the ground. We'll make our way onto our backs now for some cooling down stretches. So lying on our back, we'll take both knees into the chest in Apanasana, and your knees can be out wide or narrow, whatever feels good for you. And you can be still or rock side to side. Just ensure that your shoulders are sliding down and away from your ears, and you have length in the back of your neck. We'll come into happy baby pose now. Take the knees out wide, flex the feet, and take hold of the big toe or outer edges of the feet to draw the knees even wider and down towards the shoulders. If you're unable to take hold of the feet, you can hold your ankles or shins. The intention is to open and stretch the hips and pelvis. Remember to keep your shoulders drawing down away from your ears. Back of the neck is long. Try to relax the face, soften the eyes, and continue your deep breathing. We'll take one more inhale and exhale. Release the feet back down to the ground. We'll come into a reclined twist now. With the knees bent, shift your hips over to the right side of the mat. Extend the left leg long. Inhale, and now exhale as you guide your right knee across the body, creating a stretch into the spine. And you can extend your right arm out beside you. You can keep your gaze looking skyward, or you can turn to look over your right shoulder. We'll hold here for 10 breaths. Let's take one more inhale and come back to center on the exhale. And we'll do this on the other side. So this time, shifting your hips slightly towards the left side of the mat. Right leg extends long. You can take an inhale here, and on the exhale, guide your left knee across the body over to the right. Left arm can extend out by your side. Gaze can be skyward, or you can turn your head to look over your left shoulder. Like before, we'll hold for 10 breaths. We'll take one more inhale and come back to center on the exhale. And we'll set up now for Shavasana, our final resting pose. So take any variation that works for you. You might want to try taking your legs out wide, or you can keep the knees bent. you can come into a reclined butterfly pose. Your arms can be up overhead, down by your sides, or out wide. You can lay on your side or your stomach. It's really up to you. Find a position that you're really comfortable in and begin to fully relax the body, relaxing your face and eyes. Maybe close your eyes. Allow your breath to return to its natural state and try to tune out everything that's happening around you and seeing if you can turn inward, allowing yourself this time of ease and relaxation. Let's turn our attention back to the present. I invite you to take some small movements into the body. In your own time, come to lie on your side, resting here for a moment, taking your time before you come and rise up to sitting position, any position that feels welcome to you. And maybe try and keep your eyes closed as you transition here, trying to hold on to that feeling of ease and relaxation. And before we finish, let's take a deep inhale through the nose as we raise our arms up overhead, palms touch, and a deep exhale out the mouth as we lower the hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Thank you so much for joining me, yogis, and I hope you enjoyed this class. We'll close now with our mantra. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bowing forward, Namaste.